Hey guys, this is Magamu, and have you ever imagined the perfect game in your head, but you realize that that will never happen? Well, apparently I must be dreaming because one of the perfect games in my mind that I always wanted to see was what if Overwatch 2 was a game with actual superheroes? Now, I get that Overwatch is already kind of a hero shooter, like it's got a hero universe, but I mean actual superheroes like Marvel, DC, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man type of heroes. Well, apparently I must be dreaming because I woke up today to a trailer for Marvel Rivals, and this is apparently the Overwatch kind of multiplayer 6v6 setup, but with actual superheroes from the actual Marvel universe. And I had to dive into this because I've just been absorbed with Marvel my whole life, and I play Overwatch almost every day. So this is a natural fit. Now, what actually is this? So, Marvel Rivals is a third person, it's not first person like Overwatch. For instance, it has four active abilities: C for mouse, left shift, E, and it has an ultimate percentage. So, definitely timed abilities, along with on the left side, you have weapons, ammo, that type of thing. If you punch it, it has infinite ammo. It has team up abilities. So, like when Rocket teams up with Groot and rides him, like in the movie, that's in there. It has destructible locations. And again, it's 6v6. Overwatch went to 5v5, and I still think Overwatch was better at 6v6. So essentially, it is very safe to say that this is just Overwatch, but with superheroes, which is totally fair, right? And I'm kind of excited about this because, like I said, I play Overwatch every day, and I always thought this was going to be a good fit. Now, who is this made by? A lot of people are worried, right? Because this could go either way. This could be a super good game, or this could be like a meh game that just kind of comes and goes, right? Because great superhero games don't grow on trees no matter how excited you get. And this could go in either way, right? So this is made by a company called NetEase. And when people think about NetEase, they don't really think about the insanely high quality that Blizzard used to be known for when they created Overwatch 2. So that definitely creates some concern that even though this is being called an Overwatch clone or an Overwatch killer, it couldn't really turn out to be that because NetEase doesn't really have the breadth of, I would say, reputation to create a game of that quality. But I would also say when you're going through the NetEase games, again, which don't really say scream Blizzard, for instance, one thing stands out, and that's Knockera Blade Point. Now, if you're in the States like me, you're probably going Knockera Blade Point. We played that, 4 or 5 years ago and kind of tossed it and never really played it since. So it's not really popular in the States. But Knockera Blade Point is, or at least was, insanely popular in some other countries to the point where it was very high on the highest player list on things like Steam charts, right? So even though a lot of NetEase's games don't really scream Blizzard, I would also say you should definitely keep Knockera Blade Point in mind because that game had a really big player base and people played it a lot. And if you don't know what Knockera Blade Point is, it's a third person ninja martial arts kind of battle royale game. So let's start with the good, and then we'll go with what could potentially be things that we could worry about, right? The good thing is this taps into so much of the Marvel universe as far as what characters, what abilities, what timelines. There's so many things in here, right? So for instance, we already see characters like the Punisher could be in here, Star-Lord, I think Storm, Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, Iron Man, a lot of the characters we already know, like Doctor Strange and Black Panther, a lot of characters that maybe people who don't really watch movies haven't really seen a lot of, like Luna Snow, these type of characters. Penny Parker, I believe, was in the Spider-Verse movie. So there's like a wealth of characters they can tap into, which can kind of be good and worrying, right? It could be good because like there's so much that can go into this game, and it doesn't really have to stick to the movies. It doesn't really have to stick to the animated stuff. They can go into characters that we haven't really gotten a lot and are kind of obscure. The bad part about that is sometimes too much can be too much, and the Marvel universe is so big that a game like this could spiral out of control, and that could be a bad thing, right? Like if this game has 15 to 30 characters, it will be balanceable, it'll be consistent, and that works a lot better than maybe a game that has 100 or too many characters, unbalanced, not really taking their time, way too much scope. So the amount of characters could really make or break a thing like this, especially with balance and that type of thing. So I'm hoping, even though there's just so much they can tap into, I'm worried about it spiraling out of control. I'm also worried about this being good or bad. This is going to be free to play, which is good. People can try it. Just because something is free to play doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Also, it could be bad because free to play could be incentivized to do some things that may not work too well. Like I said earlier, if we have way too many characters because they're trying to keep releasing characters to make money, to create skins, and it's not really the balance is most important, it's just releasing characters, having seasons, then something like this could spiral out of control. It could be unbalanced. Some characters could be stronger than others. I'm looking at you, Hulk. Popular characters with popular skins may end up being too strong. This is just the nature of free to play, unfortunately. But also the good thing about free to play is people can try it and not try it or whatever they want to do, right? So it's kind of good and bad. It's kind of give and take. So I think this can potentially be good. I'm just hesitantly excited because I know that I like Marvel comics. Now, a few things that worry me, and this is really picking at straws. So take me with a grain of salt when I talk about everything beyond this point, right? Because this is Magamu PvP brain, and I don't really go PvP brain on you guys too much. So just bear with me. Don't take it too serious. The first thing is this is third person instead of first person. Now I get it. This is a Marvel game. You want to see your character, you want to be able to see your abilities, and definitely being free to play, they want you to see the skins, right? So there's no way on earth this game would have ever been first person, but I am an advocate for first person PvP. I think it works best. I think the position of the camera in the head makes just the most sense as far as fairness of the game, because third person games in competitive multiplayer, especially when you're shooting, third person can get a little bit dicey, and there's a lot of shooting in this game. There's a lot of characters that fire projectiles, and in a lot of instances you're going to find that third person shooting in a competitive game doesn't always work. It is a very hard thing to balance, but I understand that that's the direction that this was going to go in. The other thing, and I warned you that we were going to kind of grasp at straws here, the strafing looks a little weird. And again, that could totally be because this is third person, but watching the characters kind of strafe quickly left and right looks a little weird. So I don't know. I'd have to see the final game, but that just looked a little bit off to me. But like I said, picking at straws. But overall, man, I'm going to tell you, people are calling this an Overwatch killer. I definitely get it. Right now, even if you go to Steam, right, Overwatch is somewhere hovering between negative and overwhelmingly negative. Now, that's kind of fair because Overwatch promised a lot of things. Well, Overwatch 2 anyway. They promised that they would do a PvE mode, and they dropped the ball. I even covered it on this channel. So a lot of people are really upset that the PvE mode of Overwatch never came out, and they're getting negative coverage. They're getting negative coverage on the way that they monetize things. It's not greatly monetized. Who would have thought that people would miss loot boxes? So definitely the monetization, the lack of a PvE mode. Overwatch is definitely going through a lot of downside, and I think people will be looking for another hero shooter. I'm not really sure if they'll find it here, but there's definitely some opportunity. Is this an Overwatch killer? I'm gonna say no. It has the competitive shooter kind of aspect to it, and to me, this game doesn't look like it appeals to someone who's into competitive shooting. These types of players, I don't know if they're gonna find a home with this new Marvel game, so I really hesitate to call this an Overwatch 2 killer. But this is definitely going to be on a lot of people's radar because this is on my radar. This looks pretty cool. So I'm going to see, man. I rarely tell you guys I'm excited about a game, but I really enjoy Overwatch. I played it almost every day, and I really enjoy Marvel comic stuff. I grew up with that. So insane combo. I can't wait to see what happens with the game. I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you think? Also, for some reason, Galacta, which is the daughter of Galactus, is in this thing. I know a lot of people are going to panic about that, but I guarantee Galacta's probably going to be like a loot box opener or something. Like, I'm definitely getting you bought 10 loot boxes and Galacta's going to open them vibes. So I'm pretty sure that's where that's gonna go.